Hey Pisces, welcome to your reading. It's Empress Rose here. These are general readings, so take what works, leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your storyline here, go check your other major placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And we're going to start out with this Oracle Mystical Moments deck. Oh, and I'll probably post photos of the spread at the end if you want to check it out yourself. So we're going to use this Oracle Mystical Moments deck just to get us started here. And then we'll move on to the Ethereal Moments Tarot deck for a tarot spread. All right, what do we have for our dear Pisces? So some of these cards are about situations that you face, and some of these cards are just perennially true or evergreen true. They're just truths. And the deck is just calling your attention to them right now. And my attention is being called to the very smoky skies we have outside. Anything else for Pisces? Wow, I've been doing this it seems like a while here. I would have gotten something. Okay, Pisces. Well, no, we're not going to do a book. Did you have one more for Pisces? That was like 8. So yes, okay, we got one more for Pisces. I'm not taking 8. I get to have some say. This is consensual with me in the deck. Like, I don't have to sit here and read 40 cards just because that's what it gave me. Okay, so you have no ring today. So this is about, I see this card as being about two things. One is being very present with whatever's going on right now. We have the word today here, no rain today. So this is Ram Dass's teaching of be here now. What time is it? It's right now. Where are you? You're right here. So not living in the past, not living in the future, but trying our hardest. And it wouldn't, if it was easy, we wouldn't have to have whole books and discussions and TED Talks about it, would we? So it's not easy, but staying with whatever is going on right now, whatever the weather you have in your life right now, whatever your feelings are and emotions are today, staying with those, feeling them, acknowledging them, and then they move so much faster when we do that. Through our landscape, through our skyscape of our mind and our consciousness, they move so much faster. So if you're having moments of happiness and clarity this week, which you might be, clouds may be clearing, you may be having some moments of epiphanies, being able to see something very clearly, accept that, be present with that. There's also, no rain today can also be, I mean, just with this cloud, just butt up against the sun here, we could be toggling through a couple different feelings and some good news and some bad news and some good news and some bad news, and this is working out and this is not working out. So it's just a lot of mixed whatever. This is one of those perennial cards. It's always mixed. We're always getting, nobody ever has, or rarely, I wouldn't say never, but usually our weeks are full of good news, bad news. That was easy. That was harder than I expected. That was easier than I thought it would be. So clouds and sun toggling back and forth. We've got a bit of a spring sky up here in our consciousness and in our psyche. And we're just staying present with things as they change, as they move, as they shift from light to dark and cloudy to clear, cloudy to clear, cloudy to clear. But it looks like you could be getting some very nice clarity this week. From a situation that's been so far very unclear and difficult to see through. Oh, I love this. No rain today. And now you've got Miss Sunshine. Look at it. No rain today. We've got our sun right here. And now you've got Miss Sunshine. So Miss Sunshine is growing and becoming more aware, coming more into her spiritual power. She's choosing happiness. She's choosing to be happy with her life that she has. Her energy, her vibe is rising. She's grabbed onto this. I'm guessing there's some sort of balloon of spirit up here that's pulling her up more and more into the light, into more clarity, into more of a decisions to love her life as is. But we are also talking about this right here, this structural issue that's causing a problem. This can be chronic depression, chronic anxiety, or just structures in our lives, relationships, the need to work and make money, just all sorts of things that can be in this dark underbelly that are hard to see, our subconscious issues, our shadow self, are the parts we don't want to look at. But as she goes up into the sunshine, she's going to be able to see what's in this building, this part of herself a little more clearly. And there's going to be some clarity as this light shines down into there. So she's going to be able to look into her, and gender, I'm just using she, because it's easier when you're prompted with a female looking figure. So out of sheer laziness, I am using she a lot, but gender really doesn't matter. So you are going to be able to see more clearly some of your shadow selves, some of your more difficult dark corners here coming to light for examination and look. And you know what, though? I just want to say that even this part is beautiful, right? We don't end up, this artist didn't give us a big, ugly, gross thing down here. Even the shadows of ourselves and our lives and the things that sort of haunt us and stay with us, they're still beautiful. They're still just absolutely gorgeous. I would travel to go see that. You bet I would. I'd risk some I love strange foods, but sometimes they're not cooked with yeah, anyway. Yeah, I would definitely like go see that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, even though, you know, it weighs her down a little bit, and it's this dark part of her that's always going to be with you. It's still beautiful, and it's still a part of you. I mean, look, it's a part. This is not two separate things. They're integrated into each other. So yeah, I want to say there's some integration here of you accepting and coming to work with and coming to love some parts of yourself that you usually keep hidden, that you don't like, that feel like darker, heavier things, and you might be able to see them clearly. But both of these cards have this dealing with the light and the dark, So you're going to be dealing with some great things and maybe having to look into some darker corners. But you know what? You're going to find something to love there. You're going to end up loving your whole self, even the parts that are difficult and that you haven't seen for a while. Even where the sun don't shine, you're going to like that part too. It's part of your life. It's part of being alive. All right, Pisces. You're going to shine some sunshine into those places that don't usually get it this week. Pisces, this is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. This looks like somebody else's spread, but I can't remember exactly whose. In your recent past, this is you have the Knight of Wands. You have someone coming in here with an offer, a very exciting new beginning. They maybe came charging in a little fast. Maybe this was you charging in a little fast here with an exciting new beginning. We've got a prancing horse. The Knight is usually, it's a court card, might involve an actual real person, male or female. They're suited up because this endeavor is a little bit dangerous, as a Knight should be. The Knights are sort of our sophomores of the deck, the wise fool, the coming forward, charging forward a little bit fearlessly, and because they acknowledge their fearlessness, they are suited up a little bit because they might be being a little bit rash here. This is like our teenage boys needing extra insurance coverage, extra expensive insurance coverage, because they tend to be a little bit rash, which makes it a little less safe. So we need extra coverage here because this offer came in fast, excited. It was possibly, it was very inspired, very excited, maybe intuitive, maybe a creative offer, maybe a creative suggestion, something coming in here. In your current situation, wow, looks like you grabbed onto that. You have the Ace of Wands here. So this wand, you've got it now. It's in your hand now. They passed it off to you, or you passed it off to you, or anyway, it's in your hands now, this Ace of Wands here. And it's this new beginning, this growing, thriving, intuitive new start, bringing new life to your landscape. So you have a brand new beginning in hand here. Maybe not brand new, maybe a renewed beginning, maybe something renewed. But it's beautiful. It's growing. There's a lot of growth here, and you're just starting out on a new path, a new beginning, a new venture. What's on your mind? What's in your heart? Your hopes and fears? This is Three of Swords. You could be worried about getting hurt, you could be worried about being told or seeing these truths that really pierce the heart and are very difficult to absorb and understand. You could be very worried about getting hurt. The Three of Swords is really a fast-moving hurt. So you're not necessarily thinking like, oh, this is like the painful end of a 20-year relationship. This is the painful end of a short relationship. Or, you're worried about some kind of pain, not long-term, but short-term pain. And I'm also seeing here that this could be some concern. A lot of times we don't want to look at our shadow selves because the things that our society has deemed should stay in the dark, because we don't want to be hurt. We don't want to know the truth about ourselves, right? But here, this is coming into the sunshine, and you're learning some truths about yourself, and you may be very worried about being upset by that, seeing something you don't like that kind of is a hurtful truth and hurts your feelings. This could also just be being guarded. So I see you being guarded because you're worried about getting hurt, which makes sense because at this point, we've all been hurt, and it makes some sense to be a little bit guarded. We don't want to prevent the heart from beating or from experiencing or opening to new things, because you have this new beginning here, but you may not be you may have some reservations about it because it looks like you could get hurt. You feel worried about that, about getting hurt, or even about a truth that might be really painful for you to hear that you don't want to hear. What's at issue here is this Tower card. So this is revelations coming in, understanding. So we're taking it in the reverse, but the Tower card can be the same in the reverse. So we'll discuss that first. What the Tower card means. Things coming in, revelations coming in, things being shaken up. Someone being dethroned, knocked off their pedestal. Something being revealed. Your life kind of being sort of upended. This is the Tower moment here. So taken in the reverse, we can see it as your life being upended, a lot of revelations coming in, a lot of shock value, a lot of surprise, a lot of dethroning, a lot, some dethroning and that thing. The Tower card usually isn't a quiet little nudge. It's usually somebody gets pushed off the top of the tower. That seems very like intentional, but it's sometimes these things that just rock our world. And so I recommend Thich Nhat Hanh's When Things Fall Apart, because it is for the purpose that things come back together stronger and better. So things fall apart. So in the reverse, we can take this as just the straight Tower card. We can also take it as things coming together very quickly. That can create its own problems. That can be its own issue when things come together. Things that were scattered and fallen apart, shoop, come together almost like we played the Tower in reverse. And instead of smashed to pieces, something comes together very quickly. That can have a lot of, it can have structural issues that just mean that it's going to be taken down again later because the foundation wasn't properly set. It can mean just a lot of confusion and some overwhelm. It can be like winning the lottery, and the forecast for people that do win the lottery isn't very good because all their personal relationships end up having problems. Their business ventures end up having problems because they didn't build the skills from the ground up in order to achieve that. So that kind of sudden coming together can have a lot of problems and be an issue. The third way that we can see this card in this position is things not being revealed, something that should be revealed, something that should fall apart, being sort of tacked together and glued together. and not being allowed a natural death, and not being allowed to fall apart, the revelations not being allowed to come out, all of that, just a tower moment that wants to come in but is being stopped by unnatural forces, by force. Somebody's forcing a stop to this tower moment coming in. In your environment, you have this lovely little card, the Six of Cups. This is childhood friendships, sharing, someone from your past coming in that you felt very connected to. This person's in your environment. This is an easy communication, easy sharing, talking, creating together, being creative together, being just this lovely memory of someone from your past that you were very connected to. So it can just be the memory of that person. But since it's in your environment, I'm going to say that this is probably an actual person in your environment right now that's coming to remind you of who you were, what it was like back then, and how easy communication can be, and how fun it is. And so someone coming in or something coming in to help you reminisce, help you remember about simpler times, better times, which is really important. If you get joy from those memories, you should indulge them. And so your to-do list is this Queen of Wands. So this is an energy you're coming into. This is who you need to become, or the energy you need to embody. This is intuition. Oh, so we have the Knight of Wands, we have the Ace of Wands, and then here we have the Queen of Wands. So you're taking this this Ace of Wands in hand, this new beginning in hand, right? And you're making it yours. It's taking intuition, strength, patience. You might even have, I don't know, we got a little black cat here, so a little familiar. And she's far-seeing. She has a vision, has an idea. Very sensitive, very kind. This is the energy that you're coming into. She's very in touch with her intuition, very clear about her vision, what she sees. Patient, kind, creative, coming to creative solutions. And that patience is super important, especially right now with sort of planetary forces. I'm not an astrologer, but I do follow along with it. And there is a lot of patience. And actually, this is reminding me of, I do not like working on a computer. I don't know. I mean, I know exactly what happened, but I can often end up in tears. But I'm finding that if I have to do, and I do every day, computer work, if I double the amount of time I think it's going to take, then there are a lot less tears, because it's just like, okay, that didn't work. Let's try something else. So it's just a lot more patient, and I don't know if it's working or not, but it seems to result in a lot less tears and frustration on my part to just be like, oh no, let's do 2 hours of sitting down at the computer and trying to get something done there. So that kind of patience of just like, you think it's going to take an hour. Realistically, it should take an hour, but given what's going on here, let's give it 2. Okay, realistically, that should take a week. But given the situation, given the environment, let's give it 2 weeks, like that sort of thing. Like just bringing in a lot of patience, because your vision's going to happen. Your vision's here, you see it, but just making sure that you're not rushing through things, and you're allowing things to come in very slowly, which is a very interesting reading for the Queen of Wands here. But that's what I'm seeing today. Combined, my intuitive read combined with the legalistic definition of the card. And so your possible outcome here is no bueno, but this is a warning, or this is something that you might be having to deal with in the future. This is 5 of Swords. So this is about a no-win situation, having to pick between yourself and somebody else. Somebody's going to get these swords. So you can identify with, and this is what's trippy about this card. You get to choose. You'll get a choice whether you want to identify with this guy or with this guy or with this guy. And I don't know on this card, I don't know the difference between the two. But on this particular deck's version of this card. So you can either be the person with all the swords, or you can be the person that loses all the swords. So this is a no-win situation, stuck between a rock and a hard place. This is having to decide something. And if you're usually the person that gives up the swords, this is asking you to look at the possibility that you may need to take action to preserve your swords, and that action may involve taking the other people's swords as well. And or if you're a person who usually takes swords and takes other people's swords and steals swords and is sneaky and combative, you may need to look into possibly picking your battles a little bit more carefully and letting this one go. So, so you get to pick who you are. Neither one of them is a pleasant person to be. Neither one of them is easy or great. So you get to pick in the coming future, possibly when this tower eventually comes in, you may be in a position to pick your poison. Pick which finger you want the mafia to chop off. You get to pick, but you're not going to like either choice. So anyway, that might be coming up for you. Maybe if you don't get into this energy, it's more likely you end up there, but who knows? Because you end up here. Basically, you end up here at some point in your life anyway. So anyway, and that might be part of this Miss Sunshine thing, is having to deal with this darker decision, and what are you going to do about it, and how are you going to live with the consequences of that decision? Because it's a decision that's made down here in your shadow self. Because it's not something you're really gonna like. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful for you, Pisces. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments, and I hope you have a wonderful week.